Enlightenment, nirvana, rebirth, state of awe and bliss, Zen, opening the third eye. What is it really about? Although the awakening has many names, it seems the process and its meaning are completely misunderstood. It became now somewhat of a cliche in the Instagram spiritual circles, and this word is being used too often, if you ask me. So let's clarify once and for all what it really means to awaken. This is a very important video about stages of transformation, discovering who you truly are, what your powers are, and what your purpose is. A video about an essential part of your life here that you will never experience until you wake up from your hypnotic earthly dream. The awakening is the most important part of your eternal existence, and that's what I will talk about in this video. What it is, why it is important, and how to go through it. We're extremely lucky to live in these times of mass awakening. Something that started only a few years ago with the development of the internet, and something that was not present in the lives of people only a few decades ago. A side effect of the technology that was created to control us, triggered a mass awakening on an unprecedented scale. In fact, we're currently at this stage of earthly existence where we no longer have the luxury of choice. It seems that today you either go through the awakening or you pay the highest price. Undoubtedly, it is an incredible time to be alive here and now. Who knows if this opportunity will be still there in the future. I myself went through the awakening twice. Once in September of 2001 when I discovered the existence of foundations of the physical matrix, and then in 2015 when I took mushrooms for the first time and learned about the existence of the metaphysical world and its inhabitants. I'm not entirely sure what I am and what my role here is, but one thing I definitely know. I'm fully awake with my eyes wide open, ready to absorb the truth and tell others about the real world we live in. If you understand the importance of this video, it will have big impact on the quality of your life. It can change it entirely. In return, I want to ask you to donate to this channel. You can join Patreon or Subscribestar for monthly membership, or use Cash App, PayPal or bank and crypto transfers for one-off donation. Donate anything you can and it will make a huge difference to this channel's future. It is quick and easy, so give it a try. If you want to learn more about your awakening or if you want to discuss your progress, schedule a donation-funded chat. You'll find all links in the video description. I am grateful for your generosity. Thank you. So what is an awakening? Awakening is a big deal. It might be one of the most important purposes of your existence here, but it's not easy to define. In simplest terms, it would be a moment of irreversible realization or recollection about the true nature of your existence. It's a subjective process of following your intuition, and the manual for it is hidden somewhere deep inside of you. Only you have access to it, but once you decide that it's time to unlock it, you will define a certain number of steps that all of us have had to go through. The journey is long and difficult, but we all share the same characteristics that allow us to go through it. An important prerequisite for every awakening is patient self-observation, and this is the exact reason why almost everyone here stays asleep throughout their lives. Only a tiny minority of smart and courageous people are willing to subject themselves to the painful process of self-deconstruction to get to the bottom of what they're made of. A process that will eventually lead you onto the path of progression and self-development. There isn't really much room for discussion when it comes to the necessity to wake up from your earthly dream. It's making a choice between having a life or always running away from life. Despite what the self-proclaimed social media spirituality gurus say, awakening is not a glorious and frequent occurrence. After talking to thousands of people over the years, I can tell you that even though many claim to be enlightened members of the spiritual movement, in reality they are still asleep willingly and religiously, stuck in comfortable traps of their emotional attachment to conveniently chosen elements of the indoctrination machine. Awakening in reality can be brutal. With your world falling apart, how can it not be? Awakening is laborious, risky, painful, sometimes dangerous. Only some of us are willing to choose painful truth over comforting illusion. Remember Cypher in the Matrix movie? That's what I'm talking about. It is difficult, as there is no turning back. There are actually only two types of true enlightenment: discovering the truth about the earthly reality and waking up to the metaphysical aspect of your existence. Although they can happen independently from each other or be a consequence of one another, Only a spiritual awakening can offer you reprioritization of life values and further awakenings about the power of love, the power of inner strength and confidence, and so on. But the true precursor to me making this video is my recent discovery about the stages of the awakening that I want you to be aware of so that you can easily define your progress. Pay attention to the screen now if you want to understand it better. I'll start from describing what I call level 0. The stage of inaction and ignorance that everybody in this world is comfortably stuck in. This is where quote-mark humans or NPCs are located. There is no awareness of anything other than everyday responsibilities, and there is no interest or motivation to discover anything that would shake the fragile foundations of the secure life of a dormant slave. The next stage would be that of indoctrination, mistakenly called the level of the educated ones. This is where people acquire misinformation prepared for them by those in control, and this is where all of the human academia is located. This is as far as most of humans get in their understanding of the world. Stage number 2 is that of analysis, and this is where some people decide to process the information they acquired in the previous stage. Not many leave this level as they frequently sleepwalk straight back into stage number 1 of indoctrination to avoid any cognitive dissonance in their beliefs. But those who are equipped in sound logic move to the first important step of their journey of discovery. Stage number 3, conclusions. There is no turning back from this one unless you want to lose all integrity, because logical conclusions after an in-depth analysis of our reality will only have one possible outcome. The only exits from this stage are either return to much bigger lies or stage number 4, the awakening. The stage for a few chosen ones who care about the quality of their existence and who have the ability to autocorrect and progress on their path of development. This stage automatically triggers a need for re-education that gets you to level 5 of this process. This is where you will have to go back to the basics of understanding of everything and learn the truth about what all of this is really about. It is a lengthy process that sometimes takes longer than the initial indoctrination in educational facilities, because not only will you have to learn everything from scratch, but as you do this, you'll have to deconstruct every lie you were conditioned to believe by using completely new, unconventional sources. The methods of acquiring information in this stage are no longer textbooks or authority figures. It's going to be real science, logic, research, and experiments. You will be your own teacher. Once you feel like you've discovered all of the necessary knowledge, you'll move on to the 6th stage, which is reanalysis, and this is where you will process everything that you learned after your awakening. Usually the last stage for the awakened ones is having a clear picture of the truth about the world one lives in. It's a highly advanced stage most of the people in the real spiritual movement finish at. Out of this tiny group, only a fraction of the most open-minded and intellectually flexible individuals are willing to move to the next stage, number 8, where you're ready to look at the big picture that you'll discover through metaphysical quests. This is the place for people like Terence McKenna, Wayne Dyer, and everybody else whose books and speeches you're familiar with. We call them guides, gurus, teachers, but the truth is that they're the people who never stop being curious. After years of talking to thousands of people, I know that the final stage, number 9, is filled with a handful of very secretive individuals who get to the ultimate understanding of life, and I must admit that I'm not sure if that's a place you get to, or one that you have to be born into. If you believe that everything is relative and that there is no universal truth, you're wrong. I have met a few people who know the absolute truth, and for some reason they keep most of it to themselves. There is a stage at which these people have the complete picture of everything that exists, and they have access to the ultimate truth about our life on Earth and in the spirit world. Maybe this is the 47 people who the entities told me about years ago. But in order to understand fully how this society works and why there is evil in the world, you need to know about 3 additional stages, and to learn about them, we need to go in the opposite direction. You see, the inaction and ignorance stage 0 is not the lowest. There is stage -1, where people not only are oblivious to the nature of their reality, but they go a step further and are actively and consciously engaged in denial and rejection mechanism of the existence of everything that goes beyond their narrow, low-effort understanding. These are the people who have never seen anything beyond the brainwashing stage 1, but are so scared of anything new that they will fight with all their power anyone in other stages. It's obvious that the increase in human intelligence correlates with a given stage reaching its peak at the 9th level of final understanding. But it goes backwards for anyone below stage 0, and the people at level -1 are usually the least intelligent ones in our reality. And because their low intellectual capacity of logical world comprehension generates for them negative results on a regular basis, some of them move to stage -2, which is creation of an imaginary world based on ad hoc constructed rules, required for justifying and removing responsibility from everything that doesn't work in their lives. It's a very dangerous stage in which their reality becomes a threat and causes a lot of damage and frustration, and ultimately leads to the lowest stage, -3, mental disease. It's a stage at which these people are so detached from reality that their behavior has no longer any resemblance of normality. And it's also the stage where many of these people lose their life because of their illogical and dangerous actions. I should make a separate video about them soon. So how to get awakened? The short answer is you can't be awakened. It's an inner decision and no one can be forced to wake up. The awakening is only a possibility for those who are ready and are looking for it. Many are prepared to take this step much earlier than they realize because your subconscious will be looking for it. And it will take you a huge amount of effort to get in the habit of ignoring it and then pushing it deeper down into the abyss of your mind. A very good indication that this process is taking place is the moment you start realizing and consciously rejecting that which you are not. Very often the awakening is triggered by a guide, and that's why the ability to listen to and learn from other people is also an essential personality trait that will determine whether someone is capable of awakening. You can't teach or force someone to transform. It's only possible for those who have natural curiosity and are willing to satisfy it. Awakening is a byproduct of logic and open-mindedness. Those who think they know everything or don't need to know more will always stay asleep here. Awakening is about freeing oneself from external and self-imposed imprisonment in the world of lies and illusions. In terms of waking up to the truth about the true nature of this physical reality and the matrix that we're stuck in, the path is simple. It happens by keeping an open mind, following logic and true science. As per the steps listed a moment ago, eventually you should get to a place that liberates you from the lies and the illusion of this reality. As for the metaphysical awakening, there is a much simpler method: psychedelics. Nothing is as powerful and efficient in connecting you with the higher self and the spirit world as a short 4-hour mushroom trip. The effect of a psychoactive substance on your belief system is truly life-changing, and nobody really knows the mechanisms behind it. The 7 years of me accessing the mushroom realm completely changed my life and my worldview, and it happens to millions of people all over the world all the time. Those who get access to machine elves, the entities or psychedelic spirits, whatever you want to call them, are confronted with unexplainable phenomena that leave you no choice but to re-examine and re-evaluate your understanding of life. Every trip is a potential for awakening, and every psychedelic entity message is a smaller or bigger awakening in a given area of life. Those of you who have been watching the videos here for a long time know how revolutionary of an impact these messages can have on our lives. Over the years, I was told how to awaken our hidden powers, how the life is filled with awakening events that appear on our path on purpose. I was awakened to the presence of the divine that pulled me out of the nihilistic atheism. And with almost every message, I'm being woken up to the miracles of the high frequency and positive energy in my life. But most of all, the thing that really transformed my existence here was the mission of awakening millions and spreading the messages of love, joy, and hope. All the videos here are about it, but there are two in particular that explain this in depth, called Reactivation versus Upgrades and Consciousness Shift. Look them up if you want to know more. You will know when you're going through an awakening, when suddenly you find deep inside of yourself something much greater than life itself. It might be the divine spark or the connection to the spirit world. Whatever it is, it's worth every effort to go beyond the primitive illusion and delusion of this physical earthly reality. Don't resist it and be prepared to go through the painful stages of ridicule, violent opposition, projection, and repression that will eventually lead you to this sense of inner respect and acceptance, guiding you further towards release from the mindless trivia of the fake world that was created for you in this installment of human civilization. Don't be scared to be lonely on your journey, because the higher you go up the stages of awakening, the less people there will be around you, to a point where there will be only you and no one else at the same level. Why is all of this so important? It's difficult to convince people about the importance of waking up, as it's only when you experience the wonders of the conscious existence that you learn about its value. It is exactly the same as talking about the benefits of psychedelics without ever having a psychedelic experience. Those who haven't experienced the awakening have no idea what it is and how critical it is. The depth of the matrix sleep and the magnitude of the awakening are enormous and are beyond the ability to imagine by anyone who is not even aware of their existence. Once you go through it, you will live in this state of constant amazement, because the dormant human potential you will tap into is enormous compared to the worthless autopilot mode everybody calls life. After awakening, you'll discover a world of beauty around you that you never knew existed. Once you see the things the way they really are, you will find an appreciation for the divine order and aspects of life that you ignored before. You will live in a world of endless potential for the states of awe and higher frequency. There is no value and no virtue in being asleep. You can become a professional in navigating a fake world, and many do, but you end up living an empty life. There is no possibility to master the human existence without awakening. All of the essence of being a human is contained in the life outside of the earthly matrix. Everything that's important to your spiritual value and development happens only after your transformation. Awakening lets you choose the side you're on. You can stay asleep if you want to subscribe to low frequency, fear, and psychotic delusion of the masses. If you decide to go through an awakening, you'll choose the path of uniqueness, courage, independence, awareness, progression, fulfillment, and many other. Awakening is a great remedy for getting old. A regular dose of discoveries and realizations will keep you healthy both mentally and physically, as it will reverse the mental aging process by letting you grow every day. Awakening means transitioning to a new world and building a new existence for oneself, where everything makes sense and is easy to comprehend. The rules of that world are simple and liberating. The materialistic obstacle course here should be a catalyst for your awakening, not the foundation of your life. Finding oneself in this earthly chaos is priceless. You get to exit the material theater and live the real, healthier life. You'll get to discover the Creator, letting you leave behind the meaningless idea that you're a result of a random coincidence and that you don't have a place in the natural order of life. You'll move to the center of this earthly existence and you'll understand that everything exists for you. You'll only start learning after awakening. You are the divine metaphysical energy, and living a life that completely negates its presence is a shameful waste of the time you decided to spend on earth. You deserve a meaningful existence filled with love, joy, and hope, because you are so much more than you're allowed to know. As a prisoner of the earthly theater, you do not have control over your own mind. Once you awaken, you get to own yourself and really live your life. You move away from observing the world to observing yourself and shifting to personal responsibility. Those who are asleep share the same mundane world of imagination. It's primitive, one-dimensional, and stagnant. The awakened ones live in separate, colorful worlds of opportunities, development, and endless depth. The keys to these worlds can be shared and exchanged. You will move from a very small world to an enormous realm, size of which can't be discovered in one life. From virtually no options to endless possibilities. It's very likely you're playing a game here and you'll never complete this level without going through the crucial eureka moment. Become a lucid gamer. Don't forget that the experience of your death and dimensional transition afterwards is defined by your earthly awareness. After the awakening, you'll carry with you the understanding of life before entering the other side. Without it, you might be risking being temporarily stuck here according to your physical, low-frequency attachments. In line with the metaphysical rules of our existence on Earth, it is the reason why you come here. The awakening is a catalyst for your progression. There is nothing to be gained from stubbornly staying in an imitation of life for the sake of childish close-mindedness and stubbornness. There is no awakening without looking deep inside of yourself. Hanging onto the outside world is what makes you stay asleep. Thank you for watching. I haven't really exhausted this subject, so get in touch if you need to discuss this further or if you need help. Please donate to help me and this channel. All links in the video description.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow. Like this video and share it with everyone you care about. For merchandise, go to shop.b434.com. Leave your email address at news.b434.com. Visit the website of the artist and the musician I featured here. For more info or contact, visit b434.com and join 434's social media on YouTube, Facebook, BitChute, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, Telegram, VK, TikTok, Tumblr, LinkedIn, Dailymotion, and a few other ones you can see on the screen now. All links in the video description and at b434.com.